strikes and then pepper spray is the person responsible for the entire incident. And I think that person is probably the most criminally liable out of all the officers there. The officers who responded to the gunshot by firing at Mr. Peretti, I think they're legally okay. Morally, we have a question about that. But legally,
Yeah, morally, I get it, but at the same time, legally, it's like, well, I'd say the officer definitely did fuck up for sure. But at the same time, it's not really his fault because he was told that there was a gun, right? And usually in that message, you're supposed to be like, oh shit, we gotta do something about it, right? You don't just stand there and be like, okay, it's a gun, and then we just wait till he shoots you.
I think they can say in that moment when Peretti was standing up after hearing the first gunshot, they would be justified into returning fire because they believed he was the one who was firing a gun, even if it was a misfire from his own gun or one of the other officers shot. Now, if one of the other officers fired that initial shot, then we'll have to do this analysis again for that particular officer. Now, when it comes to the other officers, I know there's going to be some controversy because people are going to say, well, those officers shot him 7 times. Yeah. But the law doesn't penalize officers for making mistakes. They penalize officers for not being reasonable. And if these officers reasonably perceived a threat and responded to that threat with deadly physical force, then the law is going to protect them under the Graham standard. So, my final verdict. The officer who initiated everything, who had no legal authority to arrest, who essentially assaulted these people, is probably going to face felony murder charges.
Yeah, and I for sure, like, the first guy who was pushing definitely wasn't really necessary. I mean, as much as, like, I would have done that. I'm totally okay with them pushing it because how annoying they are. But I get in terms of the law, right? I totally understand that.
We're in a just world. The other officers who fired in response to the gunshot are probably going to be okay under the Graham standard.
Yeah, I think because they were told that it was a gun, so it totally makes sense.
And